In this section, we're going to talk about the Python list comprehensions. Python is renowned for encouraging developers and programmers to write efficient, easy to understand, and almost as simple to read code. One of the most distinctive aspects of the language is the Python list and list comprehension feature, which one can use within a single line of code to construct powerful functionality. List comprehensions are used for creating new lists from other iterables like tuples, strings, arrays, lists, and so on. And a list comprehension consists of brackets containing the expression, which is executed for each element along with the for loop to iterate over each element. We have some advantages of using list comprehensions. They are time efficient and space efficient than for loops. They require fewer lines of code to run, and they transform iterative statement into a formula. I'm going to create an empty list called list, then create a for loop that will iterate over the string Softlinks, and then I'm going to append my empty list with each character in the string. Then I'm going to print the whole list here. Click on the Run button. As you see, my whole list characters from the string Softlinks has been printed out on our console. There are various ways to iterate to a list. However, the most common approach you will often see is the use of the for loop, and this is the traditional approach to iterate to a list, string, or a tuple. Now, list comprehension does the same task and also makes the program more simple. The list comprehensions are more efficient both computationally and in terms of coding space and time than a for loop. So typically, they are written in a single line of code. Delete this code. I'm going to modify my list. Then I'm going to append character for each character in the string Softlinks. As simple as that. Then I'm going to hit the Run button. Now, we've accomplished the same task using Python list comprehension, which is cleaner, shorter, and better than using a for loop. So now, let's talk about nested list comprehensions. Nested list comprehensions are nothing but a list comprehension with another list comprehension, which is quite similar to the nested for loops. I'm going to create an empty list called matrix. Then, using the for loop in range 3 times, I'm going to append my list with an empty list. Then another for loop. And this one's going to loop 5 times. I'm going to append each empty list in a matrix with J. Then print my matrix. Then click the Run button. So, I want to pose this to you as a challenge. Can you create a nested list comprehension for the above code? I will give you a few seconds to pause the video and give this a try. Then come back for the solution. Well, did you have a go? So here is the solution. Gonna delete this code and modify list matrix. And then I'm gonna append a list range of 5 elements. For I in range 3 times in the matrix list. Then click the Run button. As you can see, we've also accomplished the same previous tasks using the Python list comprehension method. So lastly, let's talk about conditional list comprehension. We can add conditional statement to a list comprehension. Delete this code. I'm going to create a list called squares, n raised to the power of 2 for n in range 1 to 11. Here I'm going to add my conditional statement. If n modulus 2 is equals to 0, which is going to return the squares of all the even numbers from 1 to 10, then print my squares and then click on the Run button. So I want to tell you about when to use list comprehension and when to avoid using it. You can use list comprehension if you are doing simple filtering, modifications, or a formatting task on other iterative objects. It's also a good choice if you want to keep your code compact and readable. But you should avoid using list comprehension if you have too many conditions to add for filtering, as it will make your code more complex and harder to read.